Namaste, beautiful, beautiful soul. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So good to have you join me. So today we're going to be focusing on hips because our hips, we have a lot of tension in our hips and it's our moving center. And so often when we're a bit fearful of moving forward, either we don't know where to go in life or we just feel a bit afraid, taking a step, then that can show up in tightness in our hips. Now, if you think of like older people, I know some 80-year-olds who are full of life, full, energetic, can move around easily, but they have lots of interest in life, they have purpose in life, they have lots of friends, lots of social activity, etc. Whereas those who don't feel they have a purpose, literally their body reflects their mind, their body is shutting down and giving up because there's no purpose, there's nothing to get up for, to get moving for. So their body kind of slowly starts to seize up, their mind may seize up, and we don't want to do that. So we want to focus on the hips and pelvis. So just soften or close your eyes, feet a little bit wide in the hip width. And just take your awareness to your hips and pelvis, noticing any sensations or noticing any thoughts, feelings, emotions that may arise, or whether like images, pictures, anything, just be open and receptive. Just be really curious. And noticing, so be aware of your pelvis, the kind of round bowl of your pelvis from which your legs extend outwards. And just noticing how it feels being here. Do you feel quite strong and supported? Does it feel like your legs are supporting your pelvis, or does it feel like your pelvis is kind of like perched precariously on top of something that's not very stable? Do you feel able to take a step, or do you feel a little bit fearful? Sometimes that feeling of like the ground falling away from your feet, or do you feel quite supported and quite sturdy and you know where you're going in life? Remember, this is all about talking to your body on an energetic level. It's not about right or wrongs or logic or any of that kind of thing. So just literally be curious and taking a few nice deep breaths. Inhaling from roots to crown, and exhaling from crown to roots. Now once more, nice full deep breath in, filling your whole body with breath, and let it go. We've got 3 of them in here today. You can't see them. We've got Lulu, Felix, and Una coming to have a little look around. So gently opening out your eyes. So I'm just going to get warmed up a little bit, get some movement. It's going. So I'm just going to bring the knees up towards your chest. Bring the opposite hand. As always, if you need to go a little bit slower, just go a little bit slower. If you can, point the toe as you pull the knee up. Imagine pressing the other leg down into the floor as if you're about to leap up into the air. So if you're struggling to breathe or feel a little bit dizzy, whatever, or just want to go slower, then just go a little bit slower. 3, 2, 1, and bring the foot up towards the hand. So you're rotating thigh bone in hip socket. And don't worry if you can't actually touch it. Just getting the blood flowing. 4, 3, 2, 1. And try and touch the foot behind. And don't worry if you can't actually do it. So again, just getting the blood circulating in the body. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then just circling. Alternate. Knees going a little bit slower here. So we tend to hold a lot of emotions in our hips mean that we release emotions as we release the tension. 3, 2, and 1. Then just bringing the feet just outside your hips. Hands to the waist, push the hips forward, side, back, side, forward. So drawing a big circle, maybe getting a little bit slower than you would normally, feeling that movement, visualizing your thigh bone in your hip socket. And changing direction around the other way. You're really getting a sense of your thigh bones in your hip sockets. And then coming back to center, heel toe the feet out a little bit. Again, forward, side, back, side, forward. So it might start to feel a little bit tighter. Now it does for me. It feels like the circle isn't quite as fluid because I'm starting to stretch out a little bit more. Then round the other way. So again, really just being curious. So this way feels a little bit more flowing than the other way. And then coming back to center. Keeping the feet here, press into the outside edge of the feet. Inhale, a little mini squat. And exhale, rise back up. So don't be in too much of a rush. Slowly down, slowly up. Try not to tip forward too much and have your knees going over your toes. Breathing in and out. And in and out. And just turn the feet out slightly. Just about 45 degrees. Get spread out the toes, and the mini plie, knees going over your ankles, tailbone tucked under, squeeze your booty. So try and keep your upper body upright so we're not tipping forward or back. In fact, you could do that. Have one hand on your lower back, one hand on your belly to try and keep yourself upright. So it's just around the hips and inner thighs that we're feeling that movement. So imagine pressing the knees out, draw the belly button in, engaging those inner thighs, breathing in and breathing out. Try and grip with all 4 corners of your feet, pushing the floor as you come up. In and out. So bring your heels in line with your toes. Bring your hands to your thighs, breathe in. As you breathe out, slide your hands towards your feet. If you can't quite reach your ankles, don't worry. Relax the back of the neck, lift your toes. Try and spread the toes out for that stretch in your inner thighs and in your spine. And this time, as you breathe in, bend both knees. Come into like a sumo squat. Now I feel like I'm a fraction too wide here, so I'm going to bring my feet in a little bit, and that feels a little bit, kind of like, feels a little bit safer if you like right now. And bend those knees and just jiggle a little bit side to side or a kind of figure 8. Think of lubricating the hips, but also looking after your knee joints. Remember, there's no rights or wrongs, so kind of literally play around with it. Take another breath in. As you breathe out, fold forward. And imagine you're trying to lift your feet up off the floor. So try and pull up with the feet. Crown of the head stretches down. And inhale, bend the knees, come to a sumo squat, looking slightly forward. Press those knees out. Again, you can do a little side to side movement. Then exhale, straighten the legs. Try and pull the feet up as if you're literally trying to pull them up off the floor. And then inhale, bend, sumo squat. Make a bit of space around your hips. And exhale, straighten. And this time, walk the hands over towards your right foot. You might need to take the feet a little bit wider and come to a little side lunge. So bend that knee, come across. You might want to stay up higher. That's perfectly okay. You might have the hands to the floor. Press that knee out. Inhale up and across. Exhale over the other side. Now try and press the knee out. Make space around your hips. Inhale up and across. Exhale, stretch. Breathe in and out. This time as you come up and across, see if you can lift onto the ball of the foot, and then with your other toes, flex the foot. So you're in like a half toe balance, and then turn the other toe. So I'm coming over to my right knee is bent on the ball of the right foot, and I'm turning the left toes upwards. Again, pushing through that heel, really flexing that foot. So I'm feeling the stretch in the hips and inner thighs. Take a breath here. And relax the shoulders. There we come up and across. Then do the same on the other side. So lift the ball of that foot. Turn your other toes. Straighten that leg. Lift the other toes up towards the ceiling. If you can do this with this heel flat, then go right ahead. And inhale up and across. Exhale, your side lunge variation, whatever works for you. So if you're in this one, turn the toes upwards and really firm up that thigh. So you're stretching out the inner thighs. Then inhale up and across. Exhale, switch. Again, hold, breathe. I'm going to come back to the wide angle forward bend. I'm going to do another little sequence. I'm going to turn around, face the other way. So I'm facing the same way as you. Then we start off in a side lunge to the right. So go over to the right. Either just bend that knee into a side lunge, or the one we just did. So you're on the ball of the foot. Lift the left toes up. Then come up, travel across, turn to the left. So we're in a lunge position. We're going to come into a twisting lunge. We're going to bring the right hand to the floor, and we're going to reach the left arm back. Keep pressing through that right heel. So you're turning through. So you can use a brick if you need to, hugging the knee in towards you, reaching back with that hand. So we inhale, come up and across. Exhale over to the right into a side lunge. And inhale up and across, turn, and exhale, twist. You can reach the arm up if you can twist without like spinning onto the outside edge of the foot without bending the knee. If that's not doable for you today, then reach the arm back. Then come down, inhale up and across, exhale side lunge to the right. Inhale up and across, side lunge, lunge, exhale, twisting lunge. Hug that knee, left knee in towards your chest. You're turning through belly, chest, ribs. Once more, inhale back, exhale over to the right. Inhale up and across, turn, exhale. So you're on the ball of the back foot, you're in a lunge position, press into that hand, reach the arm up. Then inhale down, exhale, come back into a wide angled forward bend, Prasarita Padottanasana, holding onto the ankles, and I'm trying to lift the feet up off the floor, stretch out your hips and inner thighs. and do it all to the other side. So we're going to go over to the left into that side lunge. So remember, you can just be in a basic side lunge, or you can come to this variation with the toes lifted. Take a breath. And inhale, travel up and across. Turn to the right. So you're in a lunge position. Bring your left hand to the floor or to the block. Reach the right arm. So you're twisting him towards the leg. Either reach it back behind you or stretch it up to the ceiling. So working the legs, stretching out. And come back down. Turn, inhale, exhale, over to the right, into that side lunge. And if you're lifting the toes, really lift the toes, firm up that thigh. Inhale, up and across, turn, exhale, into the lunge twist. Inhale, down, turn, exhale, over to the left. And once more, inhale, up and over, turn, exhale, into that twisting lunge. Inhale, down, up and over to the left, into a side lunge. Now, breathe in. As you breathe out, straighten the legs. Come into a wide angled forward bend. Imagine trying to lift the feet up off the floor. Pull up. Stretch the spine out. Then release the hands. Bring the feet in a little bit. So you come into a Malasana variation. So bend the knees and come down into a kind of squat. But I want you to really play around with it. So really kind of explore it. So if that's lifting one foot off, turning a little bit, really kind of try and build some confidence in yourself and in your pelvis. And just, again, really see what works for you. One good thing about doing it at home is you're not worrying about anyone else watching. But it doesn't matter if you land in a heap. I land in a heap sometimes. It's okay. So don't be afraid to really kind of explore. Even maybe try going for a little walk. It's a great way for releasing tension. And it's good for boosting our brain cells. Because whenever we do something new and different, it's like, oh, what's this? Our brain has to come out of autopilot, and it's good for building strength around your hips and knees. And so don't be afraid to have a kind of play around with it. Then bring yourself into position and sit yourself down on the mat. Shake out the legs. Hello, baby girl. And just bend your knees and have your feet wider than hip width. Hands are behind you, but you're kind of lifting the chest like you're not collapsing down into your hands. Again, focus on your hips. Thighs. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, just drop one knee in to start with, just one leg. So dropping that knee as if you're trying to bring it to the floor, keeping the other knee still. So don't let the other knee move. Feel that rotation in your hip socket. Inhale, bring it back. Just at the same side again. So exhale, roll it in. Notice how that knee wants to move. So you're trying to keep it still. Hold for a second or two. And inhale back, one more this side. So don't worry if your knee doesn't go quite as far as mine. Just notice how you may be holding tension elsewhere or how the other side wants to move as well. So do the same on the other side. Then exhale, and I'm trying to drop that knee in, but keep the right knee still, keep the other knee still. So notice that knee wanting to go out to the side. So I'm going to try and keep it still, whilst keeping the chest lifted, and go slowly, really get a sense of that thigh bone. rotating in the hip socket. So there's no like, oh, go slowly so that you're working the muscles around that leg as well. And then back to the other side. Now really press that knee down. Even if it's not touching the floor, press it down. So if it is touching the floor, press it, squeeze your butt to feel those muscles working. So press against the floor to feel your inner thigh muscles working. And then inhale, release and open. So exhale, press it down, press into the floor. Even if it's not touching the floor, press it into the floor, feel those thigh muscles working. And inhale, open once more. So keeping the other leg. Notice how my other leg is staying still. Hold, press into the mat, squeeze your butt. And inhale, open. Same on the other side. So exhale. So even if it doesn't touch the floor, imagine someone trying to push back and you're really trying to press again. So really push into that knee, keeping the other leg still. So on this side, this knee really wants to wander off. So I've really got to work hard on this side to keep that leg still because it really wants to wander about. So it feels a little bit tighter on this side for me. Open, press, squeeze, engage those muscles, and release. And breathe in. This time as you breathe out, taking both knees. Drop the knees towards the floor. Lift your chest slightly. Push the hip forward. Again, don't let it quite touch the floor. Inhale through center. Exhale the other side. Again, dropping the knees, both knees. Push, lift your hips, squeeze your booty. Inhale, center. Exhale, pressing both knees. Try and flex the feet. Inhale, center. So this might actually feel like easy compared to the last exercise. If that does feel okay, if you're not holding tension, as you come to the side, release your back hand and reach it up so you're looking to the side. Then inhale back through center and exhale, drop the knees first, push the hips forward, reach the arms. So again, you're looking to the side rather than to the front. So inhale, roll through center, exhale, hold, breathe in and out, then in. This time as you come to the side, bring that foot forward a little bit, have your legs that are kind of 90-90. And just kind of play around over here. Now be careful because I sometimes find, I think it's like my sit bone rolling over a nerve or something, but I occasionally find I press on something, it's like, like almost like an electric shock. So I don't know if it's just because I've got a bony ass or what, I'm not quite sure, but just be aware of that. And again, just play around with it here. Just see what happens when you kind of move the body around a little bit. You might even do a little twist. Well, there it is. It's right kind of there somewhere. I think it is rolling over a nerve, and it's like it's really painful. Just for a split second, it's like electric shock. And if it feels okay to do so, you can come down onto your hands, rest your forehead on your hands. And you can maybe, even if you wish, only if you can do this without causing tension, is to relax the upper body, lift your back foot, rotate it. So you're lifting the back foot up and just rotate it a couple of times. Lift and lower a couple of times, rotating, working the muscles around your hip joints. So lifting that foot, calf, knee, upper lower leg and lower. Exhale, lift again, feel it around your hips and lower. And lift and lower. This time lift, hold it here. You might feel a slight trembling as I am doing. Just allow that tremble, because sometimes it's energy, it's emotions, it's tension releasing. So feel that tremble, hold, breathe. And then maybe see if you can hold onto that foot and bring it in towards your butt. So we're doing almost like a quad stretch, except it's not quite a quad stretch because your thigh is rotated rather than here. And coming out gently. Now I know quite a lot of people who can do things like pigeon easily find it they just kind of flop into it. So focus on the strength and the release. Don't worry about, oh, I've got to go further, blah, 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 blah. You know, sometimes less is more. So now come back through center and exhale over to the other side. Inhale, center, exhale, rotate in and out. Flex the feet so that as you lift, your toes are lifting off the floor. This time going over to the other side. Come up, bring this front leg so it's at a right angle, and the back leg so it's at a right angle. And again, just kind of play around. There it is, right over the top of mine. So I think it is sit bone pressing on a nerve. But it just gets to a certain point where it's just like, oh, I just feel it. It's like, ah! So be aware of that. That's why I would say go gently, because if it catches you out, it blooming hurts. It's only a split second, but it still hurts. So again, just going to play around with it a little bit, you know, see what feels good for you, keeping, you know, awareness of that nerve pinching. Again, if it feels okay to do so, gently come down, resting, head on hands, and try to relax this front thigh as you breathe in, lifting that back foot, rotating. Hold for a second or two, and lower. Then again, lift, feel it rotating in the thigh, socket, hip socket, and lower. Then lift, and lower. So we're going to hold it for a couple of breaths. So again, you may start experiencing shaking. I can feel like shaking in my body, and that's okay. So that front upper body is relaxed. You're lifting that back foot up as far as you can. Again, embrace the shake. And then if you wish, grab hold of that foot, bring it in towards your butt, and relax a little bit more over that front leg. And gently release, ease yourself back up, bring yourself back to center, walk the feet in a little bit, stay in a kind of upright position. Just take your right foot and place it on your left thigh. And try and press that knee out, but without twisting in the pelvis. So just kind of gently pressing that knee out away from you, lifting up through your chest, pressing into that left foot, feeling that stretch in the outer hips and glutes. Nice deep breath in and out. And you want to do a little rocking side to side. Inhale, center, exhale over the other side. Pressing that knee down, keeping the chest lifted. Inhale through center. Try and keep the upper body lifted. Exhale across. And keep energy in the legs. So as you come over to this side, imagine you're pressing that top knee down, but imagine you're trying to lift. So I'm over to the right, so my right foot's on top. Imagine you're trying to press that knee down, but imagine you're trying to lift the left leg away, so you're activating the muscles. Then inhale through center. Exhale over the other side. Imagine you're trying to press that knee away from you. And squeeze the legs together. Inhale through center, exhale. So try and lift that underneath leg. Inhale center, exhale over the other side. Open that knee up. Then back to center. Inhale, tuck the tailbone under and just shift forward and back a little bit. And really stretch that leg out. Bring that foot against your inner thigh. Move the butt cheeks out of the way. If this knee is not, if the thigh is not against the floor, pop a block or cushion underneath. Even if it's like not too high, it's like that, but you can't press it into the floor, wedge a cushion underneath. Because when you have something to wedge against, you'll find you can make even more space around that inner thigh. Take a nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, just start to stretch towards that leg with so my right knee is bent. I'm stretching with my left hand. And I'm gently pressing the knee with my right hand. And as you press the knee down, try and lift it. So imagine you're trying to lift the knee up and you're pushing against yourself. So as you stretch, push against yourself, creating that tension, and release it a little bit as you come up. So as you exhale, press that knee, lift that knee up, press against yourself, really feel the tension. So imagine I am pushing on your knee and you're really trying to do this, and I'm really pushing it down, and release as you come back up. Once more, breathe in and out. So it's about strength as well as stretching. Bring that knee in, give it some love. Shake the other foot out. Really shake both legs, let them rock and roll. And bend the knees again. And bring your left foot, help it if you need to. Bring the foot, try and flex that foot, but lift the chest. We're not collapsing in the chest. And imagine pressing that knee away from you, but trying not to twist in the pelvis. So push that foot, the foot that's on the floor, push that foot into the floor and lift away from the floor. Take another breath in. As you breathe out, take the knees across. Again, here, press that knee away from you and squeeze the legs together. So don't just drop them to the side. Press it away, lift the chest. Inhale up, exhale as you go across. So you're pressing down the top foot. Try and lift the bottom knee away from the floor. Press down with the top foot. Inhale through center. Exhale across. Open up. In and out. In and out. In and out. Again, press down. Try and lift the knee away from the floor. Inhale up. Tuck the tailbone under. Shift the hips forward and back. And come down. Stretch out. Release that foot. So again, if that thigh isn't flat on the floor, as mine is, even if it's a little way off, wedge something underneath. Again, you're going to try and do that, and you're pushing against yourself. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, press and stretch. Inhale, release. So don't worry if you can't quite reach your foot, but you might notice you stretch a little bit further because you're making that space, and you might find it feels a little bit easier because we've done a lot of hip opening here. One more nice deep breath in and out. Push that knee down. Try to lift it up. Stretch. And release. Bring that knee in. Give it some love. Stretch the legs out. Shake them out. And bring yourself into Shavasana for some comfortable relaxation position. Whatever position is comfortable for you today. And when you're ready, soften or close your eyes. And take a long, slow, deep inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth like a deep sigh, letting the breath go. And again, inhaling slowly and deeply through the nose. And let the breath go like a deep sigh, a whole body sigh. And last time, inhaling fully and deeply through the nose. And exhale through the mouth, letting the breath go. And returning to normal breathing in and out through the nose. And just start to mentally scan through your body to become aware of any tension or discomfort. Simply observe these areas. Resist the urge to attach any judgment or emotional thoughts to them. Simply observe. So part of yoga is learning to listen, observe, and simply be aware of how the body and mind is feeling, how you are feeling in your body, and learning to be in touch with your true self, your essence, your energy, if you wish. So we're going to begin by moving your attention through the body, from the top of your head to your toes. And be with each part for a moment, then let that area relax. Accept each area of your body, however it feels right now. So beginning with your attention at the top of your head. Letting it spread throughout your entire crown. Being aware of your brow, your eyes, nose, ears, your mouth, your jaw, the base of your skull. Again, just being with each part for a moment. Letting that area relax and accepting each area of your body however it feels. Moving down through your throat, your neck, to your shoulders, down through your chest, your upper back, being aware of your arms, your elbows, down through your forearms, your hands and fingers, through your belly, your inner organs, your lower back, down through your pelvis, the buttock muscles, along through your thighs, your knees, your shins, your calves, your ankles, down into your feet and toes. And when your whole body is relaxed, become aware of your feelings, your emotions, just noticing how you feel right now. And whatever you feel is just perfect. So be with each feeling for a moment and then let it go. See if you can be the passive observer of your feelings. You can imagine a stream of fresh water washing them away. And this pure cleansing water flows through you. And as this clear stream washes each feeling away, you'll begin to experience feelings of peace and clarity inside. So during each and every day, we may feel a myriad of emotions, from frustration, confusion, boredom, envy, peacefulness, happiness, joyfulness. Most of the time we go from one to the other, and it's not unless something really kind of big happens that we hold on to an emotion. And feelings, if you like, are energy in motion. And so we feel emotions, we process emotions through our body. So you might feel a moment of irritation, lying here, you might be, oh, hurry up and get on with it, blah, 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 blah. Just let that emotion, that feeling, be washed away. You might be thinking, oh, I really need to get on and go for my to-do list, da, 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 da. Again, just let it wash away. Become aware of any thoughts passing through your mind. And whatever you're thinking is just fine. Know that each thought will arise and then pass away. And it's enough to just be aware of each thought, like a silent observer, without attaching any emotion or trying to derive meaning from it. Imagine a fresh breeze blowing through your mind, leaving it clear and empty. So we might have thoughts come into our mind and we end up getting into a discussion or end up berating or criticizing ourselves. So instead, see if you can learn to just observe those thoughts and keep in mind that any unkind, unhelpful, toxic, negative, critical thought is not your true self. It's your ego, your small self. The part of you that is afraid to be seen, that is afraid to do all the things you want to do because you're seeking validation. And the only validation you need is your own. So whenever these thoughts arise, we can choose to just acknowledge them and let them go. Just let them go. Let them go, like a fresh breeze blowing through your mind, leaving it clear and empty. You can stay here a while longer. You can stay as long as you like. And notice how your mind might, as I say that, might start to go into, oh, I'd like to stay here, but I really need to do blah, 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 blah. I really should be doing la, 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 la. Remember, you're a human being. Human being. You don't have to be a human doing all the time. Now is the only time there is. We have these strange ideas of feeling guilty if we're not busy every minute of every day, and that's just crazy. And yet if you were to say, well, do you think I should be busy? Do you think I am wrong for resting, for when I sit and watch the chickens? Am I wrong for doing that? Am I wrong for sitting and reading? Am I wrong for just going for a walk just for the heck of it? Well, if the answer is no, then why is it okay for me and not for you? But this is just another one of our lies that our ego tells us. So if you're thinking, well, I'd like to stay here, but I should be blah, 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 unless it's a really life or death situation, just stay. Allow that thought, recognize it's come from your ego, not from your soul. And when we talk about ego in the sense of yoga, we're talking about the small self, the false self, not your God self, not your divine self. So when we say someone has a big ego, you might think, well, I'm not arrogant, but it's not about that at all. It's that's kind of like a misconstrued concept of the ego. I have a big ego, but I've learned to, a lot of the time, not always, but a lot of the time, say, okay, right, thank you for sharing, but piss off now. I'm not listening to you today. And that's the trick. It's knowing that that's not the truth. That little voice that's saying, you should do this, you should do that, no, 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 is not really you. So if you feel like staying longer, stay. If you are ready to end your practice, bringing yourself up, back to sitting. When you get there, bringing your hands to your heart to your hands, and taking a bow. This also is about honoring yourself for taking this time out. And I use the analogy, and it's a really important one, is we all have smartphones, and smartphones are really easy. I just had to unplug it. They're really useful, right? Yet once the battery dies, it's not used for anything other than, I don't know, a doorstop. And we are the same. If we don't keep our batteries full, and that's not, too often we focus on just doing enough to keep ourselves alive. We need to also keep our hearts full. We also need to keep our joy full. So it's not just enough to make sure we eat enough and sleep enough so we're still alive and we're just still functioning. We need to do it on every single level, because that's one of the reasons we struggle with things like depression and anxiety, is because we're just surviving, and we need to do more things just for the hell of it, just to make us happy. Last night I was taking my chicks over to Dave's, my partner's, and I was sat eating my pasta, and little burrito nicked a bit of pasta and was then running around the table, on the floor, I should say, and Binky was chasing it. It was like, no, my pasta, and it was just so funny watching him run around this table, and I was in stitches, and it's like, just things like that is what kind of recharges our battery. So yes, water, sleep, food, etc. is important, but we also need to have that joyful element. Otherwise, we're not living. We wouldn't want our children to just exist. And so we really need to start realizing that we matter too, and that we deserve to do things that fill our heart space, that fill us up. Otherwise, you may end up your body shutting down because you feel like you have no purpose, no joy in life. The older people I know who have joy in life because they're still doing things that they enjoy, are fit, active, mobile, you know, the ones who have nothing to give them joy, nothing to look forward to other than like coming downstairs, sitting in front of the telly and go back up again, they're the ones that end up old and decrepit at 60. Whereas the ones that have fun, have a playful attitude, are the ones that are still sprightly at 80. So remember, you do no service to yourself, your family, or the world by being all work. You're supporting everyone around you far more by allowing yourself to do things that you enjoy, and you're actually better off for the whole world, not just yourself. So keep that in mind, and I shall see you all very soon.